Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Road to Nowhere podcast. I'm your host, Edward Extreme. New episodes of this show go live starting next week, every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. If you don't know what time that is on the East Coast, that's about noon. Anywho, I want to thank you guys for joining me finally for a new episode. I know I've been away for a while, and I know I promised you guys an explanation. I will be giving you that explanation in this episode, but bear with me. There are a couple other things I'd like to talk about beforehand, and one of those is about what today is here in the United States. This video is going up on November 3rd, 2020. That is Election Day here in the United States. If you are a registered voter, please, please, please go vote. I don't care who or what you vote for, just go vote. If you haven't already cast your vote, go vote. If you can't go vote because, Corona, fucking COVID, go vote. Get your mail-in ballots turned in today. Get them postmarked. Get them where they need to go. Please go vote. Like I said, I don't care if you vote red, blue, purple, pink, yellow, green, as long as you fucking vote. Just vote. Please. That is all. So, with that said, I'll be honest, I do have a reason for telling you guys to go vote. It's not because I want you to vote for any certain candidate. I have my opinion about a certain candidate. Fucking asshole. And I have my reasons for that, which we'll get into probably before the end of this video. But before I do that, I want to talk about some things that are going on in the next week in gaming. Actually, to be really blunt, it's all next week that this stuff is happening. So next Tuesday, Destiny 2 will be getting Beyond Light, its yearly major expansion that will feature the additions of Europa and the old Russia area of Earth from Destiny 1 will be making a return. I'm very excited for this expansion. I will be acquiring it and playing the absolute crap out of it. And yes, I will be making content that will eventually make its way to my channel. It is not going to be up next week. It probably won't be up for at least 2 weeks at bare minimum. I have another piece of content that's coming that I want to talk to you guys about in a moment, but we'll talk about that in a little while. I have other things I need to talk about first. But so if you guys want to know more about the expansion that's coming to Destiny 2, you can go to Bungie.net. I think it is, but is it Bungie.net or Bungie.com? I'm not sure which, but go there, and there's a tab for Beyond Light. Check it out. If you're interested in getting it, get it. I'll be on there if you guys want to maybe hook up and play some games. Let me know down in the comments below. But please do not join my games if you can. Sometimes I forget to lock my party, and people are assholes. Stop it. Stop it, you. You know who you are. Moving on. Also next week, Borderlands 3 will be getting its Designer Cut DLC, which honestly is kind of weak. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. For the season pass to be $30, I'm really was expecting a little more. I mean, yes, we're getting new skill trees for all 4 Vault Hunters. Yes, we're getting a brand new game mode, a ton of new legendaries, but is that really worth $15? I don't think it is personally, but that's just my opinion. I'm still getting it. Anyways, I very much am enjoying the hell out of Borderlands 3. I know a lot of people don't like the game for one reason or another, but I enjoy the hell out of it. It's a lot of fun, and I wish I could play it more. And I actually will be playing it a whole lot more because I am finally finishing up recording Hardcore Survival. We'll talk about that more here in a bit. Now, of course, also what's going on next week is the release of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series Next. Now, I've talked a bunch of crap about the Xbox One. I will readily admit this. I'm hoping to eventually acquire an Xbox Series X. So, does that mean I'm getting a PlayStation 5? Well, no. Not right away. And it's mostly because I have other things I need to do with my money. But it's also because of a bunch of freaking assholes who went out of their way to try and rip off a lot of people for... I'm serious. If you guys go to eBay right now, there are a ton of listings for pre-orders. Not even the actual fucking console. It's a pre-order that you're buying for $800+ The console, brand new, sells for what, $499, $500, and these motherfuckers are raising the price $350, $400. Wow. That's some fucked shit right there. I mean, I could understand like $100, maybe $150 profit, but good God, man. Number one, these are not good people. So if you are planning or thinking about buying one of these pre-orders, please don't be that dumb. Don't be that guy. Don't give these assholes your money. Wait and get yourself a legitimate, guaranteed, brand new PlayStation 4 or Xbox Series X from your local retailer or online distributor. Do not pay these assholes more than what the damn thing is worth. Seriously, don't do it. But that's it. That's all the stuff that I wanted to talk about as far as, what's going on next week. I wish I could get a PS5, but yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. So this is the point of the episode where I'm supposed to start telling you guys about where the hell I've been since May and why I've been cryptic and all that fun stuff. I'm going to be brutally honest right now. I really don't want to talk about this because I have to admit to myself that the last 6 months of my life have not been a fucking nightmare. That the last 6 months of my life are real and so our story takes us back to May, beginning of May, and my dad, who had been having a lot of trouble at this point, having little things going on that I noticed, but anytime I mentioned him going to the hospital, he'd give me this look that said, nope. And so I'd push it, but then I'd let it go. Beginning of May, things got really, really bad. And one day, I went to go sit and talk with my dad and let him poke fun at me for my brick phone. I used to have a Samsung Galaxy Mega. Damn thing was literally the size of a brick. He would always poke fun at me for the size of my phone. He was like, why do you need that big ass thing? Because I got big hands. That was my excuse. All right, leave me alone. Anyways, but the damn thing died, and I wanted to go down and let him have fun and, smile and laugh and, mess with me, and that's not what happened. What happened was I found my dad in sheer agony and pain, and I was like, Pop, what's going on? What's going on? And he goes, I don't know. Something's just wrong. Something just hurts a lot. I don't know. I go, well, maybe you're hungry. And he goes, I don't think that's it. I said, is it your back? And he goes, no, it's not my back. And I didn't know what to do. And I asked him, I was like, what do you want to do? He goes, well, let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. So we sat there for a couple hours and waited. My dad was hoping that maybe this would just pass because it came out of nowhere. He was fine first thing in the morning, and then all of a sudden, holy shit. His exact words, it felt like someone shot him in the gut. Well, it wasn't too far off. After a few hours, my dad would look at me dead in the eyes and say, Eddie, I need to go to the hospital. You need to call 911. And so I did. I called 911, and ambulance came out and picked up my dad. And when the EMTs got here, they asked my dad a couple questions and checked him out. And they were talking amongst themselves, but you could kind of tell they knew something was wrong and they knew it was something serious, but they were trying to act like everything was fine. I've learned how to read people, so I can tell when someone's lying, and they were definitely bad liars. But I knew whatever this was, it wasn't good. As my dad was being wheeled out of the house and lifted into the ambulance, I said to him, "Pop, you bring your ass home." And he goes, "I intend to." That would be the last time I would talk to my dad for about 2 weeks. During that time, my dad's health would go up and down, good and bad. See, what had happened was my dad had developed a laundry list of bad shit going on with him. The worst of all was the fact that my dad had developed a very serious infection that had turned into sepsis. And the sepsis was killing my dad. Thankfully, the doctors were able to catch it and start treating it early enough. My dad was ultimately able, after about a month of being in the hospital, he was able to beat back the infection to a point where it was safe enough for him to enter to, I guess what you call post-hospital treatment, which meant my dad ultimately would have to go to like a nursing home or a rehab center. And that's exactly what happened. My dad would get transferred to a nursing home where he would actually be on extended care for, continued treatment essentially for the infection. But he didn't need a hospital anymore at this point. But also the main reason why he went there was to get physical rehab. He needed rehab because due to the infection, my dad had, problems moving his legs and, doing just about any basic function. He had lost control of his, what's the word? He lost control of his arms, and the ability to, his motor functions were really, really screwed up because of the infection and how it was affecting his brain, as well as the antibiotics that he was taking. So rehab was a necessary evil. So he goes to this nursing home. He was supposed to get better. I really would like to continue telling this story as to what the hell happened, but for reasons of avoiding lawsuits and other things, I'm just going to shut up about the nursing home. Maybe somewhere down the line I'll talk about it, but not today. Now, my dad is a veteran of the United States Navy, and so he does get medical care through the VA. I need to mention this right now, and we'll come back to it later, but because of budget cuts that occurred in 2019 to the VA, there wasn't a whole lot available to my dad when he left the hospital. On top of that issue, my dad had not been fully established with the VA here in Montana, so we would have to wait about a month. Yeah, we didn't wait a month. And for reasons involving the nursing home, and again, I can't say much more about it, we had to wait another fucking month for my dad to finally get to the VA and start getting care from them. Thankfully, when my dad finally did go see the VA, his primary physician at the VA was very quick to take one look at my dad and go, "I have a very strong idea what's wrong with your dad, looking at what I have in front of me. This still isn't enough to tell me exactly what's wrong with him, but from what I can tell, I have a very good idea what's going on, and this is what we're going to do to treat it for now until I can get lab work done and go from there." Well, after that visit, my dad was given some antibiotics and some medication and some other stuff, and ultimately my dad saw a very dramatic and immediate improvement. Now, at the time I asked the doctor, shortly after these improvements occurred, I said, "Is this actually a good thing, or is this something that could end up being bad?" And the doctor felt very confidently that this was a very good thing and that my dad was truly on the road to full recovery. I wish that had been the case. At the end of August, the infection that started this whole trend came back. Ultimately, the infection would take my father's life. The last 6 months have been like a bad nightmare. And I have woken up every day hoping it would be May, and I would go downstairs and see my dad, and he would look at me and smile and say, "What can I do for you, sir?" Because that's how my dad always greeted me. Except when I wake up, I go downstairs and I look in his room, and it's exactly the same way it was yesterday. And he's not there. I have lost my mother, my uncle, my aunt, my grandfather, my dad's mom back in 2002, my dad's stepdad a couple years before that, my namesake, the man I get my first name from, the man I get my middle name from, on my mom's side. People I love, respect, admire, and miss very dearly. Since 2008, I have had to tell my baby brother 6 times about people he gives a crap about, that he loves, passing away. It doesn't get any easier. It only has gotten harder and more painful, and this one bothered him almost as much as what happened with my mom. Maybe a little more, because he got a few more years with my dad. And he'd gotten really close with my dad. My brother Elliot, for those of you that don't know, has autism. And I've been, responsible for my baby brother since my mom passed. But I was also taking care of my dad. And throughout this whole thing, I had to make the most important decisions of my life, because I had to make decisions about my father's care. I had to make choices like, in the event something happens to my dad and his heart stops, should they resuscitate my father and bring him back to life? That's not an easy decision to make. Some would say, oh no, it's a real easy decision to make. Not really. Not when you consider that, yeah, they could resuscitate him, but he could end up comatose. He could end up, a vegetable. He could end up being in agony and pain. Oh yeah, he'll be alive, but what quality of life would he have? I wouldn't do that to my dad. No fucking way in hell. I wouldn't want that done to me. At the end, I had to make the choice, because the doctors had, because I had my dad taken to the hospital. I didn't want him to die in the nursing home. The doctors asked, do you want us to continue treatment, or do you want us to start comfort care? And they were blunt. They said we could do treatment and it could work. But I'm going to tell you the truth. It's not going to do a damn thing. It's not. At this point, yeah, he'll beat it, he'll improve, but his quality of life is gone. He's pretty much going to be brain dead if he does pull through this. I then had to make the choice to put my dad on comfort care. For those of you that don't know, that basically means the hospital was going to do everything in their power to make my dad comfortable as he died. And I had to be the one that made that choice. I don't wish that responsibility on anyone. That is, without a doubt, one of the harder parts of the last 6 months, was having to make those decisions. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, your dad passed in August. That's 2 months ago. Roundabout. And yes, it was. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It still feels like yesterday that I last saw my dad in the hospital. Because I can still hear the breathing machines and the heart monitor. And I can hear my dad. And it was not good. And I don't want to remember that. But right now, it's still a very fresh memory. And I hate remembering it. I wish I could completely forget it. I don't want to remember my dad like that. And I'm working very hard every day to not remember him like that. So I got this idea a couple days ago that maybe one of the things that would help me is talking to you guys. And our next episode, I want to dedicate to my dad. In fact, I actually have been dedicating the entire Hardcore Survival series I'm doing to my dad. In fact, I'm even playing as a character that reminds me of my dad. For a couple different reasons. Which I want to talk to you guys about that real quick. So, I started filming Hardcore Survival. The actual title of the show is Hardcore Survival Mayhem. And I'd started filming it just prior to my dad getting sick. And I would continue to try and film, but looking back at that footage, you guys, I'm not happy with it. And if I am going to dedicate this first season to my dad, I want it to be something my dad would be able to watch himself and be entertained by. My dad actually was the biggest and probably, honestly, the only real supporter I had for me doing YouTube the last several years. My dad believed in me in a way no one else did, because he knew my true capabilities. A few months ago, my dad he'd gone through my YouTube channel. He was bored. He had a lot of free time. And so he went through my YouTube channel, and he was watching a lot of my old videos, and he called me down to his room, and he goes, "Can I ask you a question?" And I'm like, "Are you watching my YouTube channel?" And he goes, "Yeah. So why aren't you doing, what you said you were going to do? I mean, you said you want to get back into doing YouTube. I mean, some of this stuff is really funny, and some of the stuff, you could do better. I know you could do better. So why aren't you doing it?" And I said, "Well, I don't have a PVR." He goes, what else do you need?" And I go, "I need a microphone." He goes, "Okay, order it." Last year, when I was getting ready to start my channel again, it was because of my dad. The only reason I'm doing YouTube right now is because of my dad. He bought the PVR and the microphone I'm using. My dad believed in me. Blindly, to some extent. But he saw something I didn't see. I don't know what it was, but he just knew I could do this, and I could do it really well if I actually put in some effort. Tried. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in a lot of effort. I'm going to try my ass off. And like I was saying, I filmed episodes of Hardcore Survival, but I'm not happy with the content that I shot. I'm just not. So I'm working on reshooting right now. For the record, I didn't get very far. So don't worry, you didn't miss much. But I'm not even going to address it. I'm not even going to acknowledge that it happened. For those curious, I will be playing as Zane, and I will hopefully get the whole season shot before the designer cut comes out. But I am dedicating the entire first season to my dad. I just really wish he could have been here to see it and critique it and tell me what he thought. My dad saw the Borderlands 3 countdown video I made, and he thought it was hilarious. I remember he saw it, and he came up, and he goes, "That was really good. You definitely got a chuckle out of me quite a few times in that video." And I said, "Thank you, Pop." And he said, "Keep it up." I wish I had. I wish he could have seen more of what I could do. And I know he's looking down on me right now, and he's kicking me in the ass, telling me, "Get to work." So here I am, getting back to work. Hope you guys can bear with me for just a few more weeks while I get all this done and get it uploaded to you guys. Now, one thing I want to mention kind of briefly, I do want to apologize for the quality of the videos that are going to be going live over the next few weeks and few months. Until I can upgrade my editing software, I got to go back to the 60 frames a second bullshit. I can't do any better. If I want to get these videos up in a timely manner in a decent quality, I got to work with what I got, and unfortunately this is the best I got. So I'm sorry. Also, my internet sucks. Maybe if I upgrade my internet as well, my problems will get a little bit less. But, so for those wondering why I didn't just talk about all this in my last video or before that, the answer is because my family watches my YouTube channel, as very evident by my dad. And I really didn't want them to hear about what was going on with my dad from YouTube. I'd rather them hear it directly from me or one of my brothers. Not a YouTube video. Hopefully you guys understand that and appreciate my decision to wait. I just really wish I could have had a happier ending. Because personally, I really wish I had one. In closing, thank you guys for being patient with me. For those of you that have stuck by me all these years, thank you. I hope in the very near future, I can make you proud of waiting, and you can see what I can really do, and you can see what my dad saw. And hopefully it was worth the wait. Thank you guys for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, let me know down in the comments below. Like, share, favorite, all that fun stuff. If you are subscribed to my channel, please hit the bell button, let you know when new videos go live. Even though I'm very open about when my videos go live, I'm just saying, click the bell. It helps. I will see you guys next Monday for another episode of the Road to Nowhere podcast, 9 a.m. Pacific time. I will even try to be in the damn chat, talk with you guys. And hell, maybe, if I do get my internet improved, I might start live streaming. That's a big fucking maybe. But we'll see what happens. Until next time. Adios.